Barbery Lion. The Barbery Lion was not just any lion. It was the most powerful and magnificent of its kind. Thicker mane, a deeper golden coat, and a presence that commanded respect. It was a creature of immense power, the king of North Africa's landscapes. But how did such a magnificent creature vanish from our world by the early 20th century? The reasons are many: hunting, habitat loss, disease, but the most significant chapter of its tragic tale takes us back thousands of years to the heart of the Roman Empire and the famed Colosseum. Here, the Barbery Lion became a symbol of power and brutality. The Romans' thirst for bloodshed led to a sinister form of execution known as damnatio ad bestias, a cruel sentence where the condemned met their end in the jaws of beasts. For the plebeians, the everyday people of Rome, damnatio ad bestias wasn't just a punishment. It was a grand performance, part of the larger Roman category of blood sports known as the Bestiarii, which began as early as the 2nd century BC. And the star of this dark show, the majestic Barbery Lion. Relentlessly hunted, these lions were trapped from their native lands, only to face a grim fate in the heart of Rome. The Barbery Lion wasn't just an executioner. It was also the prized opponent in damnatio, a staged hunt that pitted gladiator against beast. The term damnatio might translate to hunting, but was it really hunting when the scales were so tipped? In the inaugural games of the Flavian amphitheater in 80 AD alone, an astonishing 9,000 animals were slaughtered. One must ask, at what cost did the Romans entertain? The grandeur of the Roman Forum, the vastness of the Septa, and the iconic Circus Maximus echoed with the roars of these lions. Surprisingly, the very crowd that cheered for blood had no barriers protecting them from the wild animals they so eagerly watched. In another particularly gruesome event, the Roman Emperor Commodus is said to have killed 500 lions in a single day. Though many lions met their end in these games, not all tales were of their defeat. On occasion, the Bestiarius, the so-called human master of the wild beast, would meet his match. By the time the Roman Empire collapsed in the 5th century AD, the Barbery Lion was already rare, and over the next few centuries, the situation only got worse. In the 19th century, European colonists began to arrive in North Africa. They brought with them guns and traps, and they hunted the Barbery Lion for sport and for its fur. By the early 20th century, the Barbery Lion had been driven to extinction. Before we delve deeper, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, and something that I really feel is worth a shot: BetterHelp Online Therapy. Is something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? As I've researched topics for this channel, I've often found that the people of those bygone civilizations struggled with many of the same questions and challenges we face today. They too sought understanding, meaning, and above all, a sense of peace amidst the chaos of their world. Unlike the ancients, we don't need oracles for insight. BetterHelp bridges the gap by connecting you with a licensed therapist via text, all at your convenience. The process is straightforward. Fill out a brief quiz, and BetterHelp pairs you with a compatible therapist from their network of over 30,000 professionals. You're not confined by location, giving you access to the best possible support wherever you are. Appointments fit around your schedule, and if you feel the need to change therapists, it's easy and free of extra charges. BetterHelp takes away the hassle of insurance and network restrictions, so the focus remains on you. Investing in your mental health now can transform your future, just as it shapes your present. So why not give it a shot? Over 4 million people have used BetterHelp to start living a healthier, happier life. There's a link in the description to get started. It's betterhelp.com/dark5. Support the channel and your mental health. Use the link below for 10% off your first month. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. North African elephant. The North African elephant was a subspecies of African elephant that once roamed the forests and savannas of North Africa. It was the largest land mammal on the continent, and its size and strength made it a formidable opponent in warfare. As the tide of the Second Punic War swelled, the Roman Republic found itself against Carthage, the Mediterranean's other great power, centered in what is now Tunisia. Against this backdrop, the North African elephant emerged as Carthage's war machine, as it struck first to force the hand of the Romans. The North African elephant was first used in warfare by the Carthaginians dominating North Africa from the 9th to the 2nd century BC. The Carthaginians also used elephants to great effect in their wars against the Greeks and Romans. Perhaps the most audacious use of these elephants is etched in the tales of Hannibal's journey across the Alps to invade Italy. In 218 BC, with 37 elephants and an army of 50,000 soldiers, Hannibal dared what seemed impossible. The journey was a perilous undertaking, claiming many lives, both human and elephant. But those elephants that endured would later seal some of Hannibal's early victories against Rome. Intrigued and inspired, the Romans too began to use elephants in warfare after their encounter with Hannibal. They captured elephants from their enemies and trained them to fight in their own armies. Roman elephants were used in various ways, including charging enemy lines, breaking down fortifications, and trampling enemy soldiers. But was this colossal power always an advantage? Turning these magnificent beings into instruments of war was neither simple nor cheap. Their towering size, the very essence of strength, was ironically their greatest vulnerability. They were prime targets for the precise throws of javelins and the thrusts of spears. And as the strategies of war advanced, the time of battle-hardened elephants began to fade. But Rome's obsession with these behemoths was far from over. The cruel sandpits of the Colosseum became their new battleground. They would become common combatants in the damnatio. In one particularly heart-stopping face-off, an elephant turned the tide of a deadly duel with a rhinoceros by blinding it with a broken spear wielded with its nimble trunk. The relentless thirst for savage entertainment reached its peak under Augustus Caesar. The staggering 3,500 elephants met their tragic end in those games. This ceaseless display of might, coupled with rampant hunting, spelled doom for the subspecies. By the 4th century AD, the mighty trumpets of the North African elephant that once resonated across the lands were silenced forever. Atlas Bear. The rugged Atlas Mountains once echoed with the roars of a mighty predator, the Atlas bear. This subspecies of brown bear was a giant of North Africa and formerly Africa's only native bear species. Its formidable size of 9 feet and weight touching a whopping 1,000 pounds made it an unmatched force in the wild. Despite being bulkier, its nose and claws were curiously shorter than its distant cousin, the American black bear. But the Romans saw in these creatures not the beauty of the wild, but a prime candidate for their bloodthirsty spectacles. The very traits that made the Atlas bear a marvel in nature turned them into prized attractions in brutal Roman arenas. There, they faced not just seasoned gladiators, but other fierce beasts in deadly duels. One familiar matchup pitted a bear against a bull due to their relatively similar sizes. To ensure a spectacle, arena workers had a dark trick up their sleeves. Tying a rope from the bear's foot to the bull's, they bound these unwilling combatants together, ensuring neither could escape the other's fury and cruelly tying their fates to each other. But even this wasn't always enough to ignite the ferocity the audience craved. In desperation, attendants would prod and poke the unwilling participants until they fought to the death, with the Atlas bear typically the victor. But in this arena, even victory was a curse, as attendants would often dispatch the winner. The population of Atlas bears dwindled significantly during the time of the Romans due to overhunting and their capture and use in games. The small, isolated populations that survived collapsed even further with the advent of modern firearms. The last Atlas bear is reported to have been killed by hunters in 1870 in the Tetouan Mountains. Mediterranean right and gray whales. The blue expanse of the Mediterranean was once home to 2 marine giants, the right whale and the elusive gray whale. Their presence, however, dwindled thanks to an ancient industry the Romans possibly practiced but history overlooked: whaling. The Romans, known for their relentless hunting of wild animals, would have found in these colossal mammals an invaluable bounty: meat, oil, and sturdy whale bones to forge tools and weapons. Recent discoveries of mysterious whale bones at ancient Roman fish salting factories in Gibraltar offer evidence of this forgotten enterprise. Could the Romans have hunted these whales to extinction in the Mediterranean? Researchers believe so. However, there are a few complicating factors. First, the linguistic clues are evasive. Words such as ketos in Greek and cetus in Latin were used to describe whales and often appear in the historical record. Meaning big fish, however, they were also used to refer to other large sea creatures like turtles and sharks. Additionally, the Romans lacked the technology to hunt whales from the sea and would have needed them to come close to shore to be captured. An account from Pliny the Elder, a 1st century Roman scholar, suggests that this may have indeed been the case. He detailed killer whales attacking gray and white whale mothers and calves near the Strait of Gibraltar. It's highly plausible that the even warmer and more shallow waters of the Mediterranean beyond the strait would have also attracted whales near the shoreline, tempting Roman fishermen. Today, the Mediterranean is devoid of gray and right whales, with occasional sightings of sperm whales or humpbacks. Coastal whaling of these latter giants would have been beyond Roman capabilities. Sadly, the legacy of these creatures in the Mediterranean is confined to narratives of the past and bones buried beneath ancient grounds. Gray whales are now exclusive to the North Pacific, while right whales, teetering on the brink of extinction, are found only off eastern North America. Syum. Animals were not the only part of nature driven to the brink by the expansive appetites of the Roman Empire. Plants, too, were victims, including one so valued for its medicinal and culinary properties that it became currency. This was Syum, a marvel of ancient Cyrenaica, now part of Libya. Described in ancient texts as a tall plant with thick leaves and golden blooms, Syum carried a potent and unforgettable aroma and a distinct bitter taste. But its beauty wasn't just in its appearance. The plant concealed mysteries that made it invaluable. From soothing asthma and menstrual cramps to acting as an important contraceptive to flavoring the grand feasts of the time, Syum was omnipresent. The Romans, with their insatiable appetites, craved Syum, be it for health, food, or even fragrances. But such adoration came at a cost. Overharvested and its habitat destroyed, Syum was driven towards oblivion. By the dawn of the 1st century AD, it was extinct. Pliny the Elder lamented in his work Natural History, quote, "Just one stalk has been found, and it has been given to the Emperor Nero." In recent years, however, there's been some speculation that Syum may have been rediscovered. In 2021, a team of researchers published a paper suggesting that a plant called Ferula druidiana, which grows in Turkey, may be the same plant as Syum. However, this claim has not been definitively proven. If Syum is truly rediscovered, it would be a major scientific and cultural breakthrough. The plant could provide new insights into ancient medicine and cuisine. It could also be used to develop new drugs and treatments. Are you ready to unlock the secrets of the past? Subscribe now to Dark Five's brand new Ancient Mysteries channel and embark on a journey to uncover the most enigmatic and awe-inspiring mysteries of ancient times. Leave a comment if there are any ancient mysteries you want us to explore in upcoming videos.